G'day folks, it's Rob here. Just a bit of a quick clip letting you know that the aquaponics clip I was hoping to post this week isn't coming up. I've got a really bad cold and sinus infection and I'm finding it very hard to edit at the moment. So rather than stuff it up, I thought I'd just, I'll can it until next week. And I will post it then, but I thought I'd give you a bit of a quick look at what's gone on with the Kratky here on the veranda. And also give you a bit of a look at something else I did this week to do with the house for you folks who are wanting a bit of a house update. So here's a bit of a look at the Kratky. As you can see, the pak choi have put on quite a bit of growth. You might also be able to see that there's a bit of soil on top. That's because we had a bit of wind last weekend and this little arrangement fell over with all my seed trays on it and the other pots, but I've secured it onto the table now. But yeah, the pak choi's come ahead leaps and bounds. It's actually overtaken the plants down in the veggie pod. All the leaves are straightening out. I even noticed the ones down in the veggie pod had a bit of a curl to them, so it wasn't anything to do with the hydroponics. So yeah, they're actually overtaken the ones downstairs. And just to show you down here, the roots, I didn't show these to you last week for whatever reason, but yeah, some nice root growth on there. And the water, we've probably only used, I don't know if you can see over there, probably only about, probably 50 to 75 mil, 2 to 3 inches maybe of water. So there's still loads in there to see these guys through to harvest. These other bits and pieces here, someone pointed out that we could end up with mosquitoes down in there. There's none in there as of yet, no little wrigglers. But what I'm going to be doing is grabbing some offcuts of this veggie net, and I'm just going to squeeze it down beside those grow grips there, and that way no mozzies will get down there, no mozzies will get down through there, or through those other pots. Didn't get around to putting this into a new bucket this week because I was busy doing other stuff. But I did end up with a couple of the sweet peppers or capsicums. So one side will be the I can't think of it. One's bull's horn, red Marconi, that's the other one. One will be bull's horn and one's red Marconi. And this little California Wonder, it's put on a couple of little leaves down in there. Get the phone to focus properly. It's put on a couple of little leaves down in there. And the cucumber has done the same. It's oh, that was the little leaf from when it was planted out. It was smaller than that. So, someone also pointed out that I've stuffed up the pH for the peppers and the cucumbers. And yes, you're right, I did. For some reason, I just totally neglected on checking out the pH range that is best for these guys. I did for the pak choi, and I found out that it likes a slightly higher pH. But these peppers or capsicums can like it anywhere from the high 5s to the low 6s. So yeah, I basically stuffed up there. But still, they'll grow anywhere up to about a pH of 7. And these guys are below 7, so it should be alright. I'm just used to growing with the aquaponics, and in the aquaponics you like to have a pH between 6.5-ish, we'll say, and 7, because that's the best of both worlds for the fish and the plants. The fish like it higher, and obviously the plants like it a little bit lower. So yeah, that's one stuff up. And the other thing I haven't done yet is drilled out the holes, the proper holes for these guys yet. So yeah, they're just sitting there a little bit loose at the moment. So I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. I've actually been chatting to Bianca, sorry if it's getting a bit breezy folks, been chatting to Bianca about getting another tub, or maybe another 2, and starting up some more pak choi, or some sort of stir-fry green. The main reason being is we could easily have 2 of these, stir-fry meal. So there's only about, 6 days worth of meals here. If I set up another 2 tubs, then we'll hopefully have a rotation of bits and pieces coming through. As it is, we'll be able to rotate through these because they're all at different growth rates. So I'm not too sure where we'd keep them. I think we need to finish off the landscaping down the back before we do any more down there. I'll just give you a bit of a look at my messy backyard. Good news on the house front, the loan's all been signed off and the bank has forwarded the money. We paid a lot of contractors in advance. It was supposed to come out of the home loan. So we've got some money free to hopefully do the driveway and paint the house. We'll just have to wait and see. Not all the house, just bits and pieces that really need doing. So that's something that's on the cards. And I'll take you inside and give you a bit of a look at what I got up to this week. So Bianca was away this week, and while she was away, I decided to finish off our bedroom. We were waiting for money with the home loan to be finalised so we could afford the paint and bits and pieces. But yeah, it's come up a treat. It's a bit hard to see, really. But yeah, the place was a mess. Just after the house was lifted, there was massive cracks all through the wall. Plus the horsehair plaster had cracks from, 60 plus years sitting there. So we had to cut them all out, fill them all. And this week I did the last couple of loads of plaster and painted it up. Bianca wanted to do the frames herself, so she's going to be fixing the window frames and also the old doors in here. She'll be taking them out and painting them up. But yeah, I think it came up a treat. So this is pretty much the last room we need to completely gut and do again. This is our bedroom, so once we move back in from the lounge room, we're sleeping in the lounge room still, we can move on to Kira's room, which is just move all the furniture in the middle and paint the walls again, freshen them up. And then yeah, the real job we need to do is the driveway, because, give you a bit of a gander out there, it's still got a lot of rubble on it from when the trucks were driving in and out, and a massive pothole there. So we're thinking we might just get some rock, fill rock to begin with, just to put on a bit of a surface, so we don't get bogged if it ever rains again. And eventually we might end up getting it concreted. We'll just have to wait and see. And just to show you, I do have one more coat to do in here. There's a couple of bare patches that I missed. And just while I think of it, we have been harvesting a fair bit of asparagus, and Kira and I enjoyed some along with the first harvest of beans from out the back in a katsu curry the other night. So I was just editing the clip, and I realised I hadn't done an update on the mushrooms we're trying to start off. I've had a couple of people ask. So we've got a couple we started off to begin with. The Aussie White, which is basically a white Australian variety that we bought at a shop, locally grown. The King Oysters, I'm not too sure. They had Korean writing on them, but I don't know whether it was imported or not. But they actually look like to be the best growing mushrooms so far. We're actually thinking they may be pinning. There's a couple of little nodules up the top there. Bianca saw the other day. The Aussie Whites really aren't doing much. You can see a little bit of mycelia coming through there, but not a lot. None through the side of the corrugations like you can see on the base of this one here. And I started off a couple of weeks ago, actually. More than a couple of weeks ago, a week after these guys were started. And just some tan. They look like the tan oysters we grew previously. But I think I made a huge mistake with these guys. I over-soaked them. Bianca did a much more successful start with hers last year, around about the same time in August. And she had a lot of pinning, the white mycelia growing through the cardboard. So I think, yeah, I've just oversaturated these guys, letting them soak in some hot water. But anyway, I'm going to sterilise these skewers and get the assistance of the beautiful Bianca, and we'll see if we can see any mycelia between the different leaves of or the different sections of cardboard in there. So I've just sterilised these skewers on the hot plate, and got Bianca to help me here. I'm just trying to open up in between to see if we can see any mycelia. Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Yep, do you want to bring it around and just a little bit more in front? I only put 2 sections of stem in between each pieces of cardboard. How many did you put in, babe? A lot more than that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I went a bit crazy.
Oh wow, you can actually see it. That's growing in between the different layers of cardboard there, if you guys can see it. So that's pretty cool. The Aussie Whites were the other ones. They were done with these guys on the 22nd of the 8th. These guys were done on the 29th of the 8th, so a week after. So I'll have a quick look in the Aussie Oysters. We'll open these up. Oh yeah, I can see some, and that's in between the sheets there. Yeah, there's a little bit of white, but yeah, not really as...
Not a huge amount.
No, I'd almost call that a failure. But the kings are the ones I've been looking forward to, because they look the most promising. You get to see if they're what you think are pins. There we go, now we've got it in focus, folks. Bianca was thinking that these little things down here were pins. But you can definitely see there's mycelia through there. So I'm not even going to try and open them up. So what we'll do with these guys is we've got some cat litter that's based on recycled newspaper. and we'll give that a treatment with some calcium hydroxide, which I already have anyway for the aquaponics, and then we'll inoculate it with probably the king oysters to begin with, because it seems to be the most advanced. We'll wait till this totally populates with mycelia, and yeah, hopefully we'll have a clip showing how that's done in the next couple of months. So I'm sorry I didn't get to finish the clip, folks. I do hope you understand, but I just didn't want to rush it, not feeling like this. I'd rather spend my time and, you know, not stuff up and miss bits out, or totally throw the vocal track out of sync like I did this morning and spent half an hour trying to fix. So yeah, I will pretty much leave it there. I do hope you folks are all well and happy, and I will catch you next weekend with an aquaponics components clip. Cheers, folks. Have a top one.